Welcome to Trinity Podcast. Joanna Wright, real estate wealth maven, and Becky Estep Noble, the credit coach queen. We're here to help Americans understand real estate investing, business and personal credit, and the money matrix and how it may be rigged against you. Each one of these affect your own economic independence, and we're going to help you to understand how to take control of that. So, Becky, today, I know we have a favorite book we wanted to go over today, and it's in highlight of so many things that we do and so many people in the world do. But first of all, I just want to welcome you and thank you for being my co-host here and getting the Trinity Wealth out to the Americans so that they can see and hear a different way.
Yay. I am super excited to be here. My goodness. We talk about so much cool stuff, Joanna and I do. I love bouncing things off of her and her bouncing things back my way because we have just a different way of thinking than a lot of people in the world. And it's really all about helping people like get where they want to be so that they can grow their passions, so that they can be happy really in this crazy world. Like, what is happiness? It's like, how do we get there? And can I have some more of that? And so I'm super excited to introduce this book that we're going over today that might look backwards if you can see it on the screen. If not, if you're listening via podcast, it's The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. And it's got a little feather on here, which is super relevant in this book. And so I'm super excited to dive right into this. So we just finished as a class, being part of the life community. We actually just completed this book. This was on our list of books to read for the month. And so what was your biggest takeaway with that, Miss Joanna?
The biggest one, there's a lot of them. So and what I guess the golden thread that I heard throughout the whole book was there's going to be hurdles in life. And if you want your passion enough, you'll jump those hurdles. And what I heard towards the end, and I don't want to blow the end if you guys want to go read it, but what I heard towards the end was, it's been here all along. Yeah. And I was like, we fight so hard to get where we want to go, and we're actually already here, so that was a big takeaway for me. And you might be thinking, well, Joanna, I'm not there yet. So that doesn't make any sense to me. You read the book, you'll get it. Right, Beck?
So profound to me that, it was important enough to bring it up on a podcast.
Yes.
Just hands down, like it's 100-page book. It doesn't take very long to read it. But it took me forever to get it completed because I had to work through all the mental It is a very mental book that's very simple to read, very easy to understand. Everybody can get it. The first half of the book is like, oh, wow, they're speaking in just basic terms. And
that was weird for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And so it's like, oh my gosh, like what they're saying makes so much sense. And this is really how we're living right now. And God really did put something in your heart. And so there was just one piece of the book that Joanna kind of went back and forth about and felt like we really needed to just pull this one piece out to give an overall idea for you to definitely pick up the book and read it, because it's going to mean something different to you. And there was parts of it that I really needed to have in my life right now for the giants that I'm facing in my life right now and the things that I'm going through personally right now, because we really are all going through something at different times and processing things. And so I think with the world and how chaos it is, like this is a great way to bring you back to center and figure out where to go from here. So anyway, that was
absolutely. I love it. No, because some people, when they hear us speak, and we are each our individual successful coaches before even knowing each other, and everyone that speaks to us has mind blown moments, right? And I'm not trying to throw my ego out there or toot my own horn or anything, but what I'm trying to say is what we dive into and what we learn on a regular basis, normal people don't do, right? Um, and I'm not saying we're hierarchy or anything like that. I'm just saying we're driven.
We're hungry.
We're absolutely driven women that want to make a difference in the world. We want to be a ripple effect. We teach our children to be a ripple effect in the world, and it's working. So if you're wanting to, and this is why we attract a lot of women into our coaching program, our legacy program, is because I know, they may not know it yet. I know that if they come into our program, they're going to teach their children. So that is huge for me, and why we don't bring up just any old book, right? And this is why we started the podcast, because everyone says, "Oh my God, nobody told me," or "I never heard that before," or and we're like, well, let's just put it out there for everyone to learn. And so that's where we came together for the Trinity podcast, was born. And we're so excited to share all of this. And today, the Dream Giver really hit some chords that we thought was important to share with you guys. And like I said in the beginning, it's something we all do. We all dream. We all start out as children dreaming about being a truck driver, fire truck driver, or a scientist, or a cop, or like we're all as children playing with Barbie dolls or Tonka toys or Legos. We want to be a builder, an engineer, I mean, the sky is the limit is what, really, we all are born with a dream. And that's what we really wanted to bring to the table today. Becky had highlighted the 4 questions in one of the chapters that really hit home, and we kind of want to role play that out to you guys today, like ask the questions, and so you can hear. We're not going to read the book to you because that would be boring, but we're just going to like highlight this so that you can see where we're coming from, or where the book is coming from, and how tangible and how applicable it is to the everyday person, right? Right, Beck? Anything you want to say before I jump in?
No, you're good. You set the stage. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Awesome. So in the book, he really tries to prove that everyone has a dream in their heart. And so to prove his point, this is what we're going to role play on. To prove his point, I'm going to be the gentleman, and Becky's going to be the waitress that he talks to. So here's the questions, and listen in. If you're driving, pay attention. Maybe you want to pull over a second, or write these things down, right? You might want to type them on your phone. If you're on your phone, get your notes out, or get a piece of paper, because you're going to want to write these questions down. This is going to change your life. All right. Ready? Okay.
Ready. Let's do it.
All right. So the first question to prove his point was, he was sitting down with his partner, and he wanted to prove to his partner that everyone has a dream. So he decided to ask the waitress at the restaurant they were sitting in, do you have a dream? Right. And so this is how he put it. He says, are you doing what you dreamed of as a little girl?
And then she responds, no, I'm not.
Well, do you have a big dream inside your heart?
Well, yes. I thought about being a nurse. My mom and my sister were a nurse. They were a nurse.
Well, that's awesome. Do you think you would have been good at it?
I think I would have been great at it.
Would you still like to be?
I would love to be, but I can't because ...
Right? Mm-hmm. Do you happen to believe that God wants that for you?
I do.
Awesome. So if God wants it for you, then there must be a way for you to do this. What do you think is stopping you?
And she lists out a few different things. Reasons. Education was cut short because she got married. She had 2 children, then demands of raising a family. Now it's impossible, she said. It's too late.
Now, how many people can relate to this? How many people said, well, I had children young. I couldn't continue my education. I couldn't, life got in the way. Now I'm broke, or whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Circumstances. So
Circumstances, life happens. Life
not in your
happens.
way. Mm-hmm.
hmm So the guy asked, what would have to happen in order for you to do it?
Do you know why he asked that question? Here's a huge gold nugget. I'm going to reference another book. It's called The Ant and the Elephant. It is about like this thin, and it will completely change your mind on how you think about your brain. Yep, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Subconscious and the conscious brain. So what would have to happen in order for you to be a nurse?
So I would need the time to go back to school. And I can't do that because I have kids that I have to raise every day.
So maybe if you if you had these things, would you be able to do it?
If I had somebody in my life that could watch my kids, then I would be able to do something like that. And so maybe my mom could watch them.
Yes, I believe there's someone that can help you. So, and here's his point. He made her think a little differently.
What
She
else?
came up with mom as an answer to watch the kids so she can go to school, so she could be the nurse she's always dreamed of being.
Mm-hmm. Just like in our last podcast, what would you have to do to make it work? And so if you'll ask what else is possible is one of my favorite questions to ask myself. I heard it in part of my learning, but what else is possible is a great open question that you can ask yourself when you're trying to figure something out, and your subconscious will actually go to work on that answer if you just keep asking yourself the question until you get it where you want it to be, so that you can have the dream that God put in your heart.
Absolutely. And this is the why is always big. And I talk about this in my real estate investing class, that when the seller says, I just need to sell because I need to get rid of the house. Mm-hmm. Well, why? And so I teach my clients to ask why like 7 different times in 7 different ways, right? Like a 5-year-old, why is the sky blue? Why? There's always needs to be an answer, right? To a 5-year-old. And so should be an adult, right? So anytime you hear the first answer, it's usually surface level. It's not the real reason why. Okay. And that's what this Q&A that we just did, and why we did this little role play, is because he pulled that why out of her and made her think differently, right? Made her think, I still do have this dream. There is a way. It is possible. And she probably, I don't know, they didn't say this in the book, she probably kissed the guy because, like now she has a way, right?
You're giving me my dream back, right? And so
right?
The point to that was everybody in the world has a dream in their heart. Really, that's the big point, that God put something in your heart that you feel that you're meant to do in this world, and that we should really start doing that. Like,
exactly.
What are you waiting for? Because as my mentors say so often, God giveth the lesson until the lesson is learned. So you can be doing all these distracting things to put yourself on pause, to not get you where you need, what God put in your heart. And I know I'm speaking, and some people might not believe in all. If you do, say amen. But if not, whatever, just let it go. But just know that you do feel something in your soul, regardless of where it comes from, that you're meant for more, that we are infinite beings that are meant for more. Anyway, that's I went off a little bit.
Absolutely. And dreaming doesn't hurt, it doesn't cost. We daydream all day long. I think I do. I don't know about you, but it keeps us alive, really. Anyone who has suffered and been on the bed of this is my last breath has dreamed of, what if I had more time, right? What if this wasn't the end? And I'm not trying to get deep on you and throw you in a hole, but what I'm saying is time is precious. Your dreams are precious. Nobody says, I wish I would have took more Uber drives, or had that last gig, made more money. They don't care about any of that. They care about their time. Time is the one thing you cannot get back. So don't waste any more time thinking you can't have because. Just saying.
Yep. Questions that I ask in all of my credit stuff is what are your goals and how do we get you there? And so we just build out a roadmap of how to get people there. And so we simplify this whole thing so that we can get you to your dreams. Like that's our thing, man. And so we highly encourage you to pay attention, really.
Absolutely. I did another training, if you will. I hate to call it training, which is something we did. But if you wrote down, if you had $1 billion in your pocket right now, $1 billion, really think about that. How many zeros, right? $1 billion, write the number across your page if you're writing down notes. Because that's going to help you to dream big and think about what would you do with that money? If you had $1 billion, what would you do with that money? For some of the first things I always hear from my students is, get out of debt, pay for my family's home, or buy my family a home, pay for my kids' college, whatever it is, whatever that is. That's all surface level stuff too, by the way. I know you care about your family, but it's still surface stuff. What would you do with $1 billion? What would your ripple be in the world? Because I know our audience is all about ripple makers, right? We all have a purpose, we all have a dream, and we all want to know how to get there quicker. Mm-hmm. We have driven people that surround us, that follow us. And I'm telling you how to get there a whole lot quicker. Okay. My big dream is to change the financial education in our schools. And take your dream and think about, what can I do today? After you've written everything out, check mark or highlight, what can I do today to get there? What I do is, we started this podcast. What I do is I teach women to invest in real estate and have their own economic independence, because I know they're going to teach their children, right? That's my ripple effect, because I can't get into the schools yet.
So what I do is teach a financial fitness class. What I do is help people understand the credit game and realize that it's just a game. It's a tool in your toolbox that you can take out and use, but it's a lie. That's not going to help you get to your dreams. And so we go into different realms of what that looks like for somebody, but we simplify it so that it's not so complicated, because we've been there. We've been doing this for 20 years, and we want to change the whole system and the way that they're doing their business. We need some other people to help us change it too.
So we want you to be a part of our ripple effect. Chime in, make a comment, say, I want to be a part of the ripple effect, right? And reach out, because the more people that make the change we want to see in the world, the faster the change will come in the world. Just saying. If you're just going to sit there and complain and go, the world sucks and my life sucks, and that's not our audience, right? That's not our audience. Our people are driven. Our people want to make a difference. We know you're here. We know you're listening. And in order to be that ripple in the world, you have to think bigger. You have to dream bigger. And this is why we brought this to the table, so that you can think a little differently, that your dreams are not that far away. You could start today, just like that waitress did. She started that day by thinking about how she could solve her issues, and she found somebody that can take care of her children so that she can go follow her dreams. Now, what is that for you? What is that for you? I would write down some ideas, brainstorm. I always go to my Google Keep, and I'm always typing in my brainstorm moments or notes, whatever. Write down in your journal if you're journaling. Ask God, if God is your universe, your spiritual guides. Go meditate. Ask for guidance. Ask for guidance to how can I solve this problem? And as Becky said, what's possible? What's possible? What's possible? Just keep writing that, what's possible, and the answers will come.
Yay. Well, this was one of a shorter and sweeter one of our podcast, but I really feel like it's the most important because everything starts with a dream. Everything worth doing starts with a dream. So I feel complete in this moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do too, because it should have been like, the only thing I'm thinking of is it should have been our very first one, right?
I know, right?
Because it's so important.
More juicy stuff to come. What's our subject for next week? I'm
silly string.
Silly string.
Yep. So it's all about silly string. What holds you back?
Oh, nice. Okay. I love it. Well, if you don't know what silly string is, you should go back and listen to our first podcast and comment, I am not going to let silly string guide me any longer. And then move forward.
Absolutely. So that's coming up, and we're going to be talking about foreclosures, loan modifications, business credit, more of that coming to you guys. So stay tuned. A lot of what we do is mindset related. So you'll hear a lot of that, helping you build your leadership so that you can get to your dreams, right? That's really all it takes, is building your leadership so you can get to your dreams. Everything else is circumstantial. And what is Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Robert Kiyosaki says, it's superficial, really. What matters is time and your family. Time and your family. All right. So with that, we leave you Trinity Podcast, Joanna Wright, Real Estate Wealth Maven, and
Becky Eastep Noble, Credit Coach Queen.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.